Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. You're not frozen. Stop. Hello, everybody. Whoops. I can't hear now. Jesus.
What is going on?
I don't know. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the show.
Everyone.
Where the other truck is going? Oh, Mikey. Good to see you. How are you?
I'm good. How you been?
I'm good. This is Game Club. We haven't posted here in a while, but we're going to change that very soon. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be adding an actual, like regular club slash, like club-esque feel to this podcast feed. I always feel like, this is Game Club. And I think it's just always fun to like kind of generate like a talking point. You know what I mean? And I feel like people who listen to this podcast, like I want them to feel like they're kind of in on it with us, part of the conversation. And, I feel like making it feel exclusive is the wrong decision. Obviously everyone's welcome to join the club, but, if you don't like Destiny 2, you may not have, too much to listen to if you're not, a fan of Destiny 2. But anyways, at least for this episode, we're going to try out this new format, trying to post here more regularly, more semi-topical content, stuff like that. Mikey, we have been playing a lot of Destiny, and which is why we're here. And I have some thoughts, and I appreciate you taking the time to like talk about it, because I know you probably have some thoughts too. I do have to ask you, can you tell everyone kind of your journey through Destiny? Because not so long ago you said you would never play Destiny ever again, yet here we are. So run us through that. How are we here playing together almost every night?
Way to put me on the spot on that one. Yeah. So I mean, literally it seems like everybody that likes Destiny is just like, yeah, I played the beta of Destiny 1. Everybody played the beta of Destiny 1. So like, I feel like saying that isn't like a good beginning, but that's where I started.
Yeah.
Played the beta, played the first Destiny, did all that. And, had a great time. And then that ended. Obviously Destiny 2 came out, loved it for a little while, and then kind of fell off. I think honestly, it changed when I switched consoles and they didn't have carryover yet. And so I switched consoles to PlayStation, completely restarted my entire Destiny career, and I had put a lot of time in that at that point. And and then I just kind of fell off, and then I kind of got into other games, and then just saw people go through the Destiny grind, and I don't know, I got away from it, and I was just like, I don't see why people want to play the same game over and over again, and then have so many problems, and then just keep coming back for, because I'm a one game type of guy at a time. I'll get into a game and just play that only, and whether it be a multiplayer or RPG or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And and then I got sucked back in with Witch Queen because Carter and Gabe were like, dude, this is the best game ever.
Okay, I had been playing consistently for like way longer before that, because I had jumped on really at the perfect time, or back on at the perfect time, because I played the Destiny beta too, but like I feel like I jumped on about the perfect time because it was right before, like a year before Witch Queen came out with Beyond Light, and they were making like a lot of strides and a lot of changes. But I just wanted to put that out there. I didn't try and I didn't play it for 2 weeks and then be like, dude, you got to come do it. And then, you make the switch and then I jump off. You know what I mean? So I didn't do that.
And that's where I hopped off, was the Beyond Light / Shadow Keep era. And this, I just got back on with Witch Queen. So
yeah. It's kind of interesting because, Shadowkeep was like the first big expansion where Bungie had complete control of everything. And really, I kind of look at that as a soft relaunch for Destiny 2 in so many ways. And honestly, is like Shadowkeep was like almost like a soft relaunch. And then Beyond Light was almost like a true relaunch, because they did away with the Red War campaign. They gave you a whole new campaign to go through, which is the basic, like the actual Destiny 2 free campaign. Like that's what you play through on the Cosmodrome and stuff like that, which honestly I think was the right call, right decision. And now finally, after like 4 years, we have, 3 years, whatever, we have really a solid Destiny experience. And I'm so glad you have back on, because now we can be having this conversation with each other. Mikey, when I tell you that I put over 1,000 hours into this game across Xbox, PlayStation, and PC, I don't say that lightly. And I was kind of finding myself, I was like, man, I put a lot of time into this game. And like, I don't see myself stopping anytime soon with the way that this is going. Like, this is a format I can keep up with. I feel like this might be my new favorite game of all time. And it's kind of crazy to say that, like, because to me, it's like, that's a game you can go back to at any time. And unless something like drastically changes to where I have to like suddenly start falling off over the course of the next year or two, as it stands right now, this is my number one game.
Yeah.
And it's gotten to the point so much where it's like, man, I feel like I could like make content around this, which I've been talking about forever. Obviously I did a brief stint with Destiny Diaries, which will be making a return. But maybe that's what this show should be, just be called, as Destiny Diaries, like for Game Club. But I love this game. I love where the community is at with this game, because a lot of people are coming back and are really enjoying it more and more, just like you, kind of having a similar experience to what you had. And it just makes me really happy, because the game just continues to get better and better. So I want to talk about some of the intricacies a little bit, just a couple of the details, the main details out of season 16, which launched the Witch Queen. So with season 16, we got the Witch Queen campaign, Void 3.0, PsyOps as a activity, and those felt like the biggest things. Also, we got like a second story, a second story for like the boards that had the mysteries and stuff on it. There was a lot to do in season 16, and I'm even just getting around to like the investigation boards now. But
I still haven't done those.
Yeah, what a season of content, though. I mean, so I want to break down, one by one. So, like, first of all, the Witch Queen. And if it seems like we're going fast, ladies and gents, it's because we got another podcast in like 20 minutes. So the Witch Queen campaign, which added glaives along with it in 3.0, Void 3.0.
Right.
That was one of the best changes that Destiny could have ever made, in my opinion.
The glaives or the 3.0?
Just the Void 3.0. When honestly, too, like, especially with like the legendary campaign, that glaive really came in handy, because you could suppress targets. So if you had a boss that was giving you trouble, you could suppress it. It'd kind of be stunned, and then your buddies could just like kind of, rain hellfire down, with void energy and stuff. And that was really the first time I ever really got to play as a hunter. So with the revamped void abilities that came with all three classes, I think I played the hunter the most in season 16. I started out strong with warlock, but then literally the whole rest of the season, I like totally learned how to play as a hunter. And which prompted me to like, then I kind of like started swapping out all three classes. But man, I just thought those three things, especially the campaign, Void 3.0, and the glaives all together really synergized really, really well, in my opinion, and like went hand in hand. Like, it was fun to play Void subclass, and it was fun to play PvE. They really brought several new layers to PvP, or not PvP, PvE, that just made PvE just so much more fun to me, like more fun than it had ever been, in my opinion. But what was kind of your overall thoughts of season 16?
I mean, I liked it a lot. The campaign, definitely a highlight, especially having the different difficulties, which made it feel like if you did it on easy, it would have felt probably like any other Destiny expansion. But the fact that you have the opportunity to do it on a different difficulty, and the difficulty ranging by depending on if you have more than one friend in your fire team, that's so cool, because that gives you that gives you what Bungie gave you in Halo when you did a legendary campaign. It just made it feel like, oh, I'm actually like doing something that is worth my time. No matter what the rewards were, even though the rewards were awesome, because you got like, I think it was 2 chests at the end of each mission, which was awesome. But I myself was not a big fan of Void in PvE, because it didn't really, it didn't really, I mean, there was builds where you could have like infinite invisibility and infinite suppression. I don't like playing that role. I mean, I main hunter. That's all I've ever really played. I've dabbled with Titan and stuff. But I play mainly PvP. So of course I'm a hunter, sweat, whatever. But I don't know. It just kind of ruined PvP there for a minute for me too, because it was just like nonstop shotgun invisibility spamming. And it's just like, it's okay. I try not to rely on my radar too much. So it wasn't a big change, but it's just like you'd go around a corner, catch something out of your eye and be like, oh, that might be a guy. And then when you don't even have enough time, I don't know. It made an overpowered subclass even more overpowered. And I did not like that at all. So
and that's speaking as a hunter, like a tried and true hunter. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause that's all I've since D1. That's like my main thing. And I know a lot of people can say that, but I don't know. And I kind of like to go against the grain a little bit with subclasses too. So like even this season, like Solar 3.0 is out. I'd rather use like something different, like Arc or something. I don't know. It just seems like as soon as the 3.0 came out for Void, that's only what everybody's using. And as soon as Solar, I know it's like that's what they want you to do. But I don't know. It feels wrong.
Well, I do think it is kind of like annoying that if you had someone who had their build like really solid, you couldn't even see hunters half the time from across the map. Yeah. So I'd get sniped all the time. Like, where did I get shot from? And it's from a freaking invisible hunter. And especially like the Eternity map, with those long sniper lanes. Yeah. Like you could not see anybody, and it just got. I get where you're coming from for sure. I also had some of my best PvP matches I've ever had, and I think reworking each subclass is good for PvP as a whole because they didn't release a new subclass and have it be exactly like it was with Stasis, where it just broke the game. They actually had the wherewithal to like craft it in such a way to where it's good for PvE. And it's good for PvP, but you really had to like be paying attention to what you're doing or else your build would not synergize, which is a thing I think I really like about Destiny 2's like subclass system is, and it's a double-edged sword because I like it because I think it's good for the meta, but me personally, it's hard to understand exactly how to make those builds. And I think that's intentional because, you don't want to have you don't want to have a core majority of your players exploiting a big part of the game, and
which is Destiny in a nutshell.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm surprised that it hasn't been as bad as it was with Stasis, because I think it very easily could have, especially like with the Warlock orb with Void that went out. To me, I thought like if this was
that was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was still pretty bad, but it was like if this did just even one hit point more damage, that would be catastrophic, and I think that's something that can definitely tweak as time goes on. But I'm surprised you didn't, I can kind of get to what you're saying with PvE for me, because it makes sense because you like to use hand cannons and, like you don't really force yourself to use a ton of different stuff, or not force yourself, but you don't really enjoy using a ton of different stuff.
The only things I don't really like are pulse rifles, which is ironic because I play on controller, and grenade launchers. I just never really vibe with those things.
Yeah. Well, I will say with Void, it seemed like there was plenty of options to get your volatile rounds in, which is something I really used as a Warlock a lot.
Yeah.
Was really trying to, get my builds to where like anytime I had like the funnel web, right? It was like you just could melt anything.
Yeah.
It made Gambit, a ton of fun, but
oh yeah, Gambit was where I think Void shined the most, even though everybody hates Gambit. It was it made invading awesome, the PvP side, because like you could be the stealthy invader, which is what you want to be in Gambit, that I don't think anybody really talked about last season. And then like you could just suppress and just destroy mobs of enemies with Morbius Quiver. And that was where it was a ton of fun with PvE, Gambit. And I'm sure people had great time with PvP, just camping with shotguns. It was awesome for them. But I don't know. I don't know. That's my problem, because I like playing PvP the most. Like that's my favorite part of Destiny, is the gunplay and all that. But yeah.
Well, and it's getting better. Like for me, it's getting a lot better, because there was a time where I wouldn't even touch it. But now I feel like like we were mowing down people, in elimination the other day, and I was like, is this what I become? Like, how did how did
I
I
have
get?
ascended.
Yeah, literally, how did I get to this point? And it really, I think it's because of the core, gameplay changes that they've made with the subclasses and stuff to make basically you can get good, or you can make any gun viable with your loadout, which I think
Yeah.
is what the point of Destiny has always been. It's just way easier and more accessible now.
Yeah, there's so many more mods and exotics to complement almost every type of gun now.
Well, yeah, you can make pretty much almost any, those guns, like for instance, the thing that made what's the one, the 5 burst Vigilance Wing. Yeah, the thing that made Vigilance Wing so cool is, it's full auto, and obviously it's perk where if you're the only one left in your fire team, you get bonus damage or whatever. Well, guess what? We can have basically that with any pulse rifle you like. You can basically have that if you want to farm for it. And like you can get it with the messenger, you can get it with the forging whatever, like the Iron Banner pulse rifle. There's all kinds of viable options, which can be a good thing and a bad thing, in my opinion, because I don't want to cheapen exotics any more than they've already been cheapened, because there's so many in the game. But with each new exotic we get, especially in terms of weapons, like with the seasonal exotic that comes out, in my opinion, it tends to, I don't want to say cheapen is a mean word, but it just makes me not value those exotics as much. And I've seen many a Guardian run no exotic weapons, because they've made their legendary weapons better,
Yeah.
Which,
well, I mean, that's part of the grind. Like as soon as somebody gets like master worked god rolls, I mean, what do you need an ace of spades for? When you got
it's true.
A ranged out Austringer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I want to kind of move on here just because we're kind of short on time, but and that's kind of how these episodes are going to be, just kind of like short and sweet, just little chat about Destiny. So season 17, moving into Season of the Haunted, we had, obviously it came with a new story week to week with the severed missions and stuff like that, which has been really rad in my opinion. We also got a new Iron Banner event to try and grind out. And then, of course, we got Solar 3.0. Obviously, we've only been in Season 17 for 2 weeks now. We're going into our 3rd week.
Yeah.
Overall, I like Solar, but I think Solar is going to need way more work done to it than Void had done to it. And for the simple fact that it just does not synergize the same way that Void does with those builds.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think it's on the Hunter side, it's kind of the same. As Void was, because there's only one or two exotics that really make it, at least like in PvE content. There's like, what's the shards one, the gauntlets, and then the Ahamkara build is awesome with the trip mines, where you basically have trip mine, dodge, melee at all times. I haven't tried the one shot golden gun, but I'm sure that's still just kind of meh, unless you're doing like raid damage. But really, it's the Ahamkara or the shards. I mean, you don't really have a lot of options, because I think even Void was more Mobius Quiver, or what was the other PvE Void?
The one with the Spectral Blades?
Yeah.
But
it was the exotic for that boosts that. But even that wasn't that great,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I can see what you're saying with the exotics and meshing.
And that's the thing too, is there's just not too many solar weapons, in my opinion, that really like mesh well with this build, whereas it feels like there's a way more Void weapons at my disposal, especially exotics.
Have you used the BR?
I haven't been using the Battler as much, actually.
I don't use pulse rifles, and that's all I use for my PvE solar, because it's pretty awesome.
I've been playing a lot of Warlock the beginning of Season 17, and it's just a lot of fun, with like the snap. I've used all three, but I'm gravitating more towards Warlock this season. At least, it might kind of be the same type of thing. Like the first 4 or 5 weeks I'll play as a Warlock, and then I'll kind of switch up my approach, with Titan and stuff. Right. I found that the Titan Solar 3.0 experience is actually a ton of fun, because they have that new hammer strike thing. Where you slide, bring your hammer up, and it's like he slides, brings the hammer up, and comes down. It's useless in PvP, really. And I think that's kind of an issue, is Titans just really aren't I mean, they're getting a buff actually, which is kind of funny.
They honestly, they kind of need it, except for the dodge. I feel Titan's solar subclass is a lot like Hunter's arc, because we also have that melee where we come around a corner and lunge and do like a wall of lightning. It does 0 damage. It basically will like take down their shields and that's it, which is okay. But the animation is so long, just like the hammer, where it's like you go up, you come down, and then like that whole time you're completely vulnerable. Yeah, which I mean, it's cool, but and I know there's a lot of people that can use it. Yeah, probably.
I think it's nice too that they kind of made that with him the same ability, like that's your melee charge. So like you can't shield bash right after that.
Yeah.
Hold on one second. Yeah, so you can't have your shield bash anymore, or after you use that. Mm-hmm. But unless you have Lorelei, which I know most Titans do.
Only Titans.
Yeah, literally, like you run around Iron Banner right now, and literally everyone is running Lorelei. I mean, they basically gave it to you for free almost. Like if you ran the Lost Sector that had it, I got it first try or second try. I got my first Titan exotic helmet that's only special to Lost Sectors. In my first run, then my second run, I got Lorelei, and it was like, holy crap! Yeah. They're basically just giving this away. I still stand with my thoughts though. I think Solar, it is cool. It's not as cool as Void. It feels like something's missing. I feel like my Sunshot should be able to synergize way more with any Solar build that I have, but it just doesn't. You'd think that like your Sunshot would apply Scorch. It does not. You would think that
it does not.
Yeah, you would think that if you use Polaris Lance and got like those precision headshots, like boom, 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 and it has that explosion, you would think that would like. Go ahead.
Are you using the damage buff to your solar weapons? Are you using that aspect?
Well, yeah, but it doesn't create Scorch, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think that would be overpowered. I think it was a good call for them not to do that. Yeah, could you imagine if any solar weapon could do that?
Well, not any solar weapon, but I mean, it feels like the exotics, if they're masterworked at least. Like, I'm not even saying every shot. Like, so Sunshot's exotic, or catalyst is if once you kill an enemy, it basically explodes. It's almost like Firefly pretty much. Mm-hmm. Well, how much would it be asking to say like, okay, you're already raining hellfire from above with the new solar build. So is it really asking too much to say like, yeah, if you can do that, that at least gives you like 25 stacks of Scorch instead of nothing. You know what I mean? I don't think adding a buff like that would be that big of a deal.
I think it would, because then like, think about this. What's the Thorn going to be? Like there's a lot of different exotics that give that ability to you, rather than you were just talking about exotics being taken out of the game. If you give Scorch to every single purple flame, like fire weapon, it would make so many things useless. Yeah. I think that would.
Yeah. I think that there's definitely room for it. I'm just saying, like, basically, I'm not saying that the solar exotics are useless, because they're not. And obviously you can build into them.
Yeah.
But they just don't feel special from legendary weapons, really, like solar weapons. There
is a select few. Yeah.
They give all of the exotics give no added value to Solar 3.0. And that's dumb, in my opinion. Like, yeah, it would be so satisfying to like hit all your shots with the Polaris Lance, and it's like, oh yeah, if you did that explosion is actually an ignition. So like literally an entire mobs would get melted. So to me, it wouldn't cheapen it. It would just be like, okay, the Osteo Strega does the same thing. Trinity Ghoul has a range of area effect that basically melts an entire group of mobs.
Yeah.
I don't think it would cheapen. I think it would just give more options, and I don't think it would be game breaking. But I would be shocked if we didn't see more of that in the future, to be honest with you.
Yeah, coming from a PvP standpoint, I think that would be game breaking for sure.
Yeah, one, I think they've done certain they've done certain things to where it's like, okay, yeah, this is godly in PvP, but in PvE it's useless. Like this finger snap in PvP, basically useless. You can turn things and debuff certain things to make them not effective, to where it's like, okay, if I'm going for a solar ignition, it basically does good in PvP. Like that is built in as a PvE mechanic, in my opinion. But I don't know. I think, and that's another thing is, okay, well, for every class, That's tough because I guess warlocks get heat rises, which is actually super
they
useful.
They got the best stuff.
Yeah,
solar,
it's like
for
I
sure.
can literally fly better than before.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on the air accuracy, quote unquote.
Yeah,
That's a joke.
I don't even want to talk about that actually.
Sad face.
But I do want to talk about another thing that's broken, and that's Iron Banner. Just briefly.
Good lord.
So I got the Iron Lord seal, which I'm actually putting out a short video on my personal channel if you want to go watch it. Iron Banner is terrible right now. It is just not even like I literally
doesn't even work half the time.
Yeah. I mean, it glitches. Like getting points is a joke. Like there's no healthy way to grind that. I mean, when I started on Thursday really grinding, and I had my top 4 triumphs done already.
Yeah,
just because I've played Iron Banner for so long. But it took me from Thursday to 2 nights ago, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 4 days of literally, I only played Iron Banner. That's all I did was play Iron Banner. And I got my seal because it was like, okay, I don't want to have to deal with whatever Iron Banner is going to be next time. But I got my seal, and I felt bad for anyone who hasn't played Iron Banner, because now if they want that seal next season or the next time it shows up, that they're going to have to grind for it, especially like the armor pieces and the weapons and stuff like that.
Yep.
It's just, it's kind of sad in my opinion that they've made Iron Banner what should be a relatively, I don't want to say easy seal to get, but I don't know.
It shouldn't be an easy seal. The game shouldn't be broken to where it's mind-breakingly hard to get something like that.
It's like literally,
and not the fault of the player.
It goes beyond just playing the objective too. Like it's not a matter of, it's like if you're guarding your teammate or whatever, like that should give you points in my opinion. Like there should be something set up to where
KD, literally
anything.
all the simplest things, which I know there's some people out there that are like, not all consoles have SSD, which I get, but that literally doesn't make any sense because all other game modes are like that. I've heard that excuse several times. I'm like, SSD should not affect the simple build of a PvP mode.
I mean, it needs to work. I mean, Iron Banner is accessible to everybody for free.
Yeah, not right now. It ain't accessible if it's broken.
Yeah, literally. But it's just, I don't know. It was just kind of a joke. I did not. I had it's actually frustrating because I had some of my favorite moments in the Crucible ever inside of Rift.
Yeah.
I also had some of my most frustrating moments ever.
Where it's just like first round and we're just going to have to give up.
Literally.
There's literally no way we're going to win at all.
Exactly. Like I'm literally only going to like stick around for this match so I can like progress my quest. Yeah. That's the only reason I stay in. That's sad.
Is the thing. Like, how is there not some sort of timer or something for people that quit matches?
Yeah.
Like in Iron Banner, I think every thing should have some sort of timeout, even if it's not comp, because that is the worst, especially in a game mode like that, where if you're one man down, even one man down, you're not gonna win.
Yeah. Like, no, I totally agree. I totally agree.
But I get it being accessible and people who have internet problems or whatever, but
yeah, I mean, if that was Bungie did send me a warning and say, hey, like your internet's affecting other players. If that continues, we're gonna have to restrict your account. So obviously they do take it seriously. I'm not doing it on purpose. I just live out in the boonies. So
yeah,
but Bungie, fix your game mode. To me, I don't think Destiny is perfect right now, just to kind of wrap up because we have another podcast we got to do. To me, I think Destiny is an amazing place right now. It's really fun to play as a whole. There's plenty to do. There's plenty to do.
Especially if you're a new player or a coming back player. There's so much to do, for people who haven't experienced Witch Queen or even what's the moon one? There's so much to do on the moon, especially because they brought that back, the Leviathan. There's so much to do.
Yeah.
And like, if you get bored of this game, it's kind of your own fault because there is so much to grind for, so many goals you can set for yourself. Like, there's a lot.
Yeah, I mean, it's if you get bored, it's like, go find a triumph. Like, grind for a seal, do some triumphs, like get that high score, that basic game feeling of getting a high score. is built into this game with the Triumph
do
system.
do some Nightfalls, get some catalysts done. There's so many things to keep your and that's not how it was when I quit the game.
Yeah,
like, there was just nothing to keep you focused.
That's exactly what I was going to say at the end is the changes desired are nowhere near what they used to be. You know, they are minute. I mean, Iron Banner needs to get fixed ASAP, but they are minute compared to what, you know, it used to be.
Yeah, it's even though we are complaining about so many things right now, it is in a really good spot.
Oh yeah,
it's really fun.
You critique the things you love. I mean, we've also been praising this game, you know, a lot. So, but anyways, that's your Destiny Diaries, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry to kind of cut it short. Hopefully we'll kind of do this season by season. So, hopefully we'll be able to go into a little bit more detail once you know this season ends, and who knows, we might be checking in after a couple weeks just to see what's going on. So anyways, say goodbye, Mikey.
Goodbye, Mikey.